year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody. I am joined alongside my good friend and co-host Tony Sapita. And today we are hitting on the Chicago Bulls and all their recent news from this past week. The Chicago Bulls have officially rid themselves of the albatross that is Lauri Markenen. That is a quote from Tony. I did not say it. He told me to say it though, but I kind of have to agree to it now as I said it. It was a bit of a messy breakup, as some of you Bulls fans may know. He wanted money. Bulls didn't want to give him money. He wanted out. He stayed on the team. It's a mess, but he's gone. And the better part is his contract is off the books. But the Bulls came out on top on their end. They won this trade big time, depending on how the draft goes in the next 2 years. We'll get more into that in a minute. And also, Demar DeRozan says he came to Chicago because of Vooch. And also some Paul Millsap news. I know a lot of Bulls fans have been talking about bringing in Paul Millsap. There's some news about it. He is not officially a Chicago Bull as of 12:07 p.m. Central Time on August 31st, 2021, but he may come to Chicago. So stay tuned for that. But before we dive into it, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Stupid Car Tray. Tired of your pizza topping sliding, office coffee distracting you while driving, grease and other stains getting on your seat, or you're just enjoying a game on the couch and don't want to lean over? Look no further than the Stupid Car Tray. Proudly USA made, Stupid Car Tray makes your passenger seat or couch a level surface for all transportation and couch potato needs. Visit www.stupidcartray.com and use discount code J16 to get 16% off your entire order. Link in the description. The tray works. I never have to lean over anymore to dip my chips off of the table. I am lazy. I hate getting crumbs on my couch. Don't have to worry about that anymore either. The tray does great. Goes perfectly on my cushion, makes a flat surface. Love it, and holds beer really well. London loves putting his Michelob Ultras on it. If you want to enjoy a Bulls game like us at home, head over to www.stupidcartray.com and use code JAY16, that's J16, at checkout for 16% off your entire order. All right, Tony. Let's talk Bulls. What is going on with Lauri Markenen, and what did the Bulls get out of the trade for him, sending him to Cleveland Cavaliers?
Well, finally, like we were saying, Lauri Markenen is out of here. He gone. Lauri Markenen was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 3-team trade between the Cavaliers, the Trailblazers, and the Bulls, of course. So we'll tell you who they got, who they sent. So Cavaliers got Lauri Markenen, and they signed him to a 4-year, $67 million contract. The Trailblazers got Larry Nance Jr. Sure, whatever. And the Bulls got the Chicago Bulls, fleeced them and got Derrick Jones Jr., a lottery-protected first-round pick in this upcoming year from Portland, and a protected 2023 second-round pick via Denver. So I said when it happened, I tweeted it out, and I still think it's true to this moment, up until, what'd you say, 12:07, August 31st, that we actually got a decent return for Lauri, which is absolutely shocking and also amazing, because I really thought we were going to have to give up picks. We're going to have to package some picks to get him out of here. I know, Nick, you're going to say he wanted way too much money. We didn't want to pay him money, but AK absolutely fleeced everyone. Basically, now we're kind of Trailblazers fans because we need them to make the playoffs this year so that we can get somewhere around that 20th pick. So then it doesn't move on to the next year. And however, all those protections kick in. But if they make the playoffs, they're out of the lottery. We get their pick. I would definitely trade Lauri Markenen for the 20th pick right now still. So, and we got, more in return. So Nick, what was your reaction?
I kind of going off that. Larry Nance Jr. is not a horrible basketball player. He's pretty athletic. He can get stuff. I mean, I'm not saying he's an all-star. I still think Alex Caruso is a better athlete than Larry Nance Jr. But the Portland, it's not like they got any worse. They are still going to be fine. Dame is still on the team. So they're for sure going to make the 8th seed at least, which I'm totally fine with. Like you said, getting a 20th overall pick from the Portland Trailblazers for Lauri Markenen, who we drafted with the 7th pick and has been a man of glass the last couple of years for the Chicago Bulls. Total steal. I don't know how AK pulls these deals off, but the Bulls also had no draft capital anyway the next couple of years in order to go and trade for a guy like Derrick Jones Jr. and to get rid of a contract like Lauri Markenen. So I like Derrick Jones Jr. coming. Super athletic. Could be like a dunk competition with him, Levine, Lonzo, all the DeMar, just freak athletes in the Chicago Bulls. But also doesn't sound like Lauri Markenen got that $23 million a year that he was asking for the Chicago Bulls for. That just wasn't going to happen. And I think he had to swallow his pride and be like, this is the best deal I'm going to get. And I'm going to be a starter on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the best it's going to get for me. This is the most money I'm going to get. And I'm just going to have to deal with it because I put myself in this position. I just pray that he gets healthy and stays off the injury side because he would be an exciting basketball player. He's come a long way. But hope for the best for him. But he did fine his first year for the Chicago Bulls, and then it all just kind of went downhill from there. So, best of luck, Lauri Markenen, but Derrick Jones Jr. and 2 picks, and they're both protected, I know, which kind of stinks, but we still have his salary off the books. And I know you're going to get into that in a little bit, Tony, but overall, what a deal by AK. Absolutely fantastic job. And the Bulls got better out of this trade, in my opinion. Even though Lauri could be a very good player in this league if he stayed healthy, I still think that we added depth and the Bulls got better.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Speaking of the Bulls getting better, there was some Demar DeRozan news, not really anything transaction wise. Obviously, we already got him, but just kind of some stuff he said in an interview that I thought was interesting. And I think you guys will too. So basically, he said in an interview that him and Vooch have been talking for years about teaming up. I did not know they were friends. That's incredible. So I know myself included, we were a little bit less than excited with kind of how the end of that year turned out last year when we thought, oh, we're going to trade for Vooch. We're going to make the playoffs, but, sneak in, see what could happen. They've lost, 10 straight, whatever it was after. But when I'm going to spin zone it this way. You guys can use this too. Basically, we acquired Demar DeRozan in that Vucevic trade, which is awesome. So to really got to shout out Bleacher Nation Bulls. They did a great job of kind of summing up the offseason. So they tweeted out, and I'm taking it here. So basically, the Bulls swapped out Lauri Markenen, Thad, Sato, Garrett Temple, Aminu, Daniel Tice, a 2025 protected first in 3 seconds for Lonzo, DeMar, Derrick Jones Jr., a 2022 protected first and a 2023 second, as well as an $8.3 million trade exemption. I mean, that's kind of just a bunch of stuff for arguably stars, arguably could be stars. And that, who knows what the picks are going to turn into. How does that not make you excited? That you have to be excited about a kind of return like that.
And I also a lot of people don't realize, but Vooch's contract becomes less over time. So the Bulls are going to have more cap. I'm not saying 10 million more in cap, but that 3 million in cap could sign a veteran to a good bench player. Over time, Vooch's contract gets cheaper. He's still in his very well in his prime. He is going to be a good basketball player this year. And, Thad, I was upset about Thad leaving, was not upset about Lauri leaving, especially with his attitude. Sato did fine. I think we paid him too much. You've also forgot that we got rid of Felicio. The greatest center ever for the Chicago Bulls. I liked Garrett Temple because, he was a leader in the league. He had a lot of impact. And then Daniel Tice, I was super upset about. Daniel Tice was just a badass for the Bulls. I was hoping he would do better. But overall, the Bulls got insanely better. Went from a 10 seed team to a 4 seed team in one offseason. And we still haven't seen our young guys ball out yet. So overall, I think the Bulls did an absolutely fantastic job. Absolutely shout out to Bleacher Nation Bulls for putting that together. And it's not done yet because there's one other guy that's left in free agency that the Bulls are still looking at. And Tony, I'm excited about this. Paul Millsap. Apparently there is mutual interest between Millsap and the Bulls for him to come to Chicago. That would be an awesome mentor for Patrick Williams. A guy to back up Patrick Williams, because I think Patrick Williams would start over Millsap just because of his athletic ability. They want to develop him, kind of like the whole argument Justin Fields should start for the Chicago Bears. Patrick Williams should start for the Chicago Bulls. You got to get that experience. You can't baby him his whole career. Throw him out there like Derrick Rose, start him right away. That's just it. That's just what it is. But, man, Tony, if Paul Millsap came to the Bulls, what kind of impact would he have immediately on the team? And do you think AK could fleece him for less than $4 million?
I think so. And I really think, honestly, there's a ton of things that he would bring to the team, but I think the biggest one would be just that veteran experience, just because I think the Bulls are going to make the playoffs this year. I think they're going to make it, for the next couple of years. And I think it's very important to have a guy that's been there before, that's been in the playoffs, a guy that just kind of knows how to handle that pressure. Because obviously the media gets ramped up and then there's a lot more travel kind of back and forth. You play in the same team over and over. And it's more than just, what's on paper. You're playing just against the same guy that's figuring out your moves every night. And I can see Paul Millsap kind of mentoring these guys like Patrick Williams and just kind of working them through it, walking them through it. And I think that is invaluable. Even if if it's for $4 million, it's worth so much more than that.
Absolutely. I agree. And also, I don't think that he would want to come on a 1-year deal. I think he'd want to stay with this core for a while because this core is going to need a year to gel together. I think they'll make the playoffs. Well, they make the finals. I would love it, but they need to gel for a year. They need guys to get a little bit more experience, get a little bit more seasoning on them, more meat on those bones in order to be able to go into the paint, AKA Patrick Williams. He just turned 20 years old. Like the dude is 4 years younger than Tony and I, and he's absolutely balling out in the NBA. So overall, very exciting for the Chicago Bulls team. Awesome moves by AK, and it's not done yet. He still has more moves in his back pocket for sure. And the Bulls, it's coming up fast. Tomorrow is September 1st. Tomorrow is September 1st. And you know what that means? We are getting ready for Bulls season because it's right around the corner, and Bears, but we're obviously talking about the Bulls right now. So, Tony, any last comments, but about Billy Donovan and his experience is going to help. Where is he going to put this squad in year one? How is he going to make them exceed? Is he going to help them gel together before the season? What do you see Billy Donovan doing with the squad out of the gate?
Absolutely. I think what he's going to do is he's going to get the best out of these guys, and he's going to make sure that they are playing the correct roles. They're playing playing where they're supposed to play, and kind of just making sure that, like you said, it is the first year together. We do think they're going to make the playoffs, but it does take time to get used to these guys, especially when, you talk about the Bucks, who have kind of all been together for a bit. They're obviously coming off a championship. And I think what he's going to do a good job of is just, as corny as it sounds, is team building. And it's going to be just get these guys used to each other, just make everything work. One other thing I wanted to add is I just saw this. I just came across my timeline. The NBA executives and scouts, they always vote for, best player, whatever it is. They voted the Demar DeRozan signing as the worst move of free agency. I want to spit in their face because I completely disagree, and I can't wait for the Bulls to prove them so wrong.
Ooh, don't go Tony Soprano. Stay Tony Sapita, not Tony Soprano. All right, just keep it cool. Keep it cool. Let the haters be wrong. Deep breaths. Yeah, I agree. That's a bunch of baloney. Or, as you would say, gabagoo. So, overall, I think that the Bulls did do a good job. I know you think that they did a great job. We're very excited to bring you Bulls news this upcoming season. We are going to finalize our Bulls schedule exactly when we'll be posting Bulls podcast. Right now, it is on Tuesdays. So, but that's going to expand as the season goes on. So we're very excited about that. But Tony, great job today. Absolutely always great to hear from the Bulls news. Very exciting. I am looking forward to it. And we will be at opening night, so stay tuned for that. And go check out our Instagram if you want to see Tony singing the 7th inning stretch at Guaranteed Rate this past weekend. Just had to throw that in there. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody, joined alongside Tony Sapita, and we will see you guys next time.